Alrighty, class, this week you are going to be working with angles, primarily how to read the measurements of angles, or how to draw angles, and also how to classify angles. So before we get started with the actual homework, I'm going to go ahead and just remind you how a protractor looks like, how being familiar with a protractor can help you estimate the measure of an angle, or to draw an angle of certain degrees. Okay, so remember that this is a protractor. We use a protractor to measure angles, and I think the best way to start with this is, how do you draw an angle? Okay, so to draw an angle, you need to have a fixed point. Okay, so the fixed point is usually right here in this area, line up with the center of the protractor. And of course, you have two rays that share that fixed point. Okay, so I'm going to draw a ray, and I'm going to put this ray right here alongside this side of the protractor. Okay, and we can call this E. Well, let's call it D here. Okay, all right, and then there's another ray that shares point D, and you can put it any way you want. So I'm just going to draw a 60-degree angle. So I'm going to put it right here, 60-degree angle. All right, and I could use any letter of the alphabet. So this is angle F D E. Its measure is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, 60 degrees right there. Okay, so notice how you start from 0, then you go to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 degrees. So to write down that the measure of angle FDE is equal to 60 degrees, we put a small m here. We use that less than symbol for angle, and then we put 60 degrees. Okay, so that's an angle whose measure is 60 degrees. Now, if you don't have a protractor, and of course many of you don't have one at home, what you can do is draw everything with respect to the horizontal line, okay, that DE, and compare and also use the vertical, which is the 90-degree angle. Use the vertical, and you can always use that as a relative angle, that right angle, and then draw everything with respect to that. All right, okay, what do I mean by that? Let's actually go to the actual homework, and then I'll show you. Okay, but before we go there, let me just quickly remind you that this protractor, you can read it from east, or you can read it from west. Okay, if you read from west, you'll be looking at the black number. Okay, if you read from east, you'll be looking at the blue number. Okay, so that's very important, and always make sure that the fixed point is right smack on the top of that dot right there, and that one of the side is always lined up with your protractor. Okay, let's go to the actual homework. Your actual homework is actually 3.11 angle and their measures. And I've done this in Google Meets, but I didn't have too many people, so I'm going to quickly redo this, do a short version of what we did in class. Okay, so first of all, this is 3.11 angles and their measures. The first two problems, segment addition postulate, you remember how to do that from last week. This next one is the one that I want to talk about because you don't have a protractor. Okay, so it says find the measure of each angle to the nearest degree. Of course, you can't do that because this is we're doing this virtually. You don't have a protractor. So what we are going to do instead is to just use just guess. Okay, guess how big the angle is with relation to, let's say, 90 degrees. All right, so what I personally always do is I always draw my 90-degree angle because I know how big that is. That's the corner of a box. Okay, now 90 degrees, if I divide it into 3 equal parts, it's gonna fall about right here. All right, so if this is 90, then this has to be 30, this is 30, and that's 30. So I would know that this angle here is 30 plus 30, which is very close to, which is 60, or it could be 65, it could be 70, okay, but If you tell me that, you know, it is 60 degrees, or if you tell me it's 70 degrees, I'm not going to mark you off, you know, because again, you don't have a protractor, as long as you don't tell me it's 50 degrees or 20 degrees. Okay, so the answer to 3, a good guess with 3 would be that it's 60 degrees or 65. Okay, so I'm going to just say 65 degrees. All right. You go to number 4. Again, a good estimate for number 4 would be maybe 30 degrees. Okay, or 35 or 40 even. All right, so again, if you don't know, go to the right angle, partition this into 3 equal parts, so it looks like it's going to be more than 30 degrees. Okay, so maybe 40 degrees for this one. Okay, just don't say 10 degrees and don't say 120. Okay. Number 80, number 8. Okay, so again, using just an estimate. Okay, we're looking at this angle here. Of course, it's bigger than 90 degree angle, and it has to be bigger than 135. Okay, because 90 plus 45 is 35, and 45 is right in between, is half of 90 degree, half of 90 degree. So what you're going to do here is you can say, you know, a straight angle is 180. So you could say this is probably close to 170, 165. Okay, but just don't say it's 10 degrees. Okay. All right. So that part is estimating. Okay, they measure each angle. Then they have you draw an angle with the indicated measure. All right, so how do we draw a 55 degree angle? So again, you are going to do everything with respect to 90 degrees. So much easier. If that's 90 degrees, I'm going to partition into 3 equal parts. So I know that 60 degree, I know where 60 degree is. So I'm just going to go a little bit below 60 degrees. So I'm going to say that the angle is 55 degrees. And I'm just going to erase that part. Erase this. And it gives me an angle which is 55 degrees. 122, how big is 122? Again, in relation to 90 degrees. I know that if I have halfway between 90 is 135, so I know that 122 has to be less than 135. So maybe I'll go right here. And then I'm going to erase this and say that this is about 122. And again, we are just estimating, so you don't have to worry about being precise. Just don't say that, you know, don't draw an angle which is 15 degrees and say it's 120. All right, so that's what you are doing with the first part of this exercise, and I'm gonna stop this video here so that you can do 3.11 and 3.12. I believe are the same thing. Okay. All right, so we'll pause here, we'll upload this, and then we'll do another one for classification of angles. So that was very quick. You know, like I said, I spoke very fast because I don't want to make these videos too long for you, okay? They take a long time to process it, to upload. Bye.